Okay, folks, I don't want to take too terribly long on this, but if you're a little confused about the color mixing, I thought some of you did request this yesterday, so I'll go ahead and kind of go over it. Now, I have added white up there as well, but I did put that on my palette. I just take the palette and I spaced out the wells so that you can mix the different colors. Everything comes from the primaries, blue, red, and yellow. And I'm going to use one of these palette knives. They're at the back sink in the plastic red Folgers can. So, if we're mixing from the color wheel, or mixing to create a color wheel, let's just work with our primaries here and start building up our secondaries. What do I need to make orange? Yellow and red, thank you. You will always need a lot more yellow, like a 3-to-1 ratio, because yellow is a very, very weak color. I would have a paper towel. In this case, I just used a Clorox wipe. So I put some yellow in the well. I don't want to mix the wrong colors into my access wells, basically. And you'll see just how deep the red is. The idea of using the palette knife is to kind of keep the bristles of the brushes from wearing out. If you can, of course, use a brush to mix paint, but it does wear them out. It'll break the bristles off. So that still is pretty red. I'm going to have to add a little bit more yellow. If you want to work from day to day and just rinse this out in the sink, that's fine. You could just use on the pump, just barely push it, and you'll just get a little bit of paint out. Just mix what you need to. It is looking a little bit better. It might be hard to tell on the TV. I know the colors aren't as precise. I think it needs more still. It looks more like red-orange right now. Alright, so then I have something close enough to move on. Alright, what would I need to mix green? Yellow and blue. Should be reviewed, but some of you may not be as versed in color theory if you haven't taken an art class before. So I'm just going to do one little portion of blue. I'm going to do 5 portions of yellow. Just mix them together. I'd mix everything very well. Get the sides of your well so that you don't accidentally get unmixed color into your painting. This is water-based, so the good thing is it will, of course, thin out with water. You can treat it more like a watercolor if you'd like. The bad thing is if you're painting on top of it and layering from day to day after it's dry, it actually revives like watercolor, meaning it'll turn wet again if it gets too wet. Yellow seems really thin today, so definitely want to mix more. This might be more accurate. Looks more like a gray on there. Alright, the last of the primaries that mix to make our last secondary. How do I make purple? Red and blue. Thank you, Andrew. You can essentially follow the color wheel, and so whatever colors on the side of the wheel that you're trying to find, they're going to be sandwiched in between what you're mixing. Okay? Yes. Yep, the pencils are in that blue box right there by the pencil sharpener, by the glue. Now the purple will be very dark. It's actually darker than black. Black is artificial. It's actually blue, and the chroma, or the color, has been taken out of it, and it's been made darker that way. So I can understand if you want to add some white to the purple in particular, or you can thin it out with water and you'll see it just a little bit better. Now to make a neutral, you can do it one of two ways, but essentially all comes back down to one thing. You can either mix a complement, which is an opposite on the color wheel, so if you look directly across the wheel, That would be like your blue versus orange, your yellow versus purple, or your green versus red. But the easiest way to think of it is just mixing the primaries together. So one portion red, one portion blue, and probably several portions yellow. If your mix is too purple, it just needs more yellow. That's usually the case. More like a neutralized purple right now. If you want to make gray, you could do that one of two ways, like manufactured looking gray. That would be done with white and black. You could actually drop a drop of the ink into white paint. I have put the white paint out. Yeah, I need a lot more yellow. It's not going to drip for me. I would wear an apron when you're using any of this inking, painting. It's just easy to get it going everywhere. As we saw yesterday, it can happen to anybody, honestly. That's looking better. That's looking more brown. Just a lot more yellow. Okay. And what I'll do is I'll put this chart up on the wall so that you all can see it if you need it. This way you can also see how it thins out. You want to practice this in your sketchbook, that's fine.
What do you want this at?
Put it back in there as best as you can. I know it's overflowing with stuff. Thank you. All right. There you have it.